So the timer starts now. Let's see how much of the evening we can fill up with stories about. All right. This will be the kind of the kickoff here to get the food line moving along more quickly. So we might even want to move the kegs in a little bit closer here to get some critical mass closer in. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a few minutes about Joel. I've known him for a long time, and quick show of hands here. How many people have been on a Joel Levenberg 3-hour ride? That's it? Any more? So for those of you that haven't been on, Joel's 3-hour rides, usually they don't last 3 hours. It's usually somewhere in the neighborhood of north of 5, 6, maybe 7. Typically that means you're running water, you're pushing in late in the afternoon, you're going to run in the weather, you might run out of daylight. So a particular memory for me was in Labor Day 2005. I was down in the San Juan Mountains with my wife and Joel, a couple other friends, and Joel said, hey, I got this great ride we're going to do. We're going to shuttle the cars, we're going to get up to this pass, we're going to head out, ride this trail. Going to go out a long ways, then we're going to hit this, like 3,000 foot downhill. It's sick, really fun. So it's like, great, sounds awesome. I'm like, how long we look here? It's a 3-hour ride. 3-hour ride, maybe, yeah, we're good. I've done this before. I've done this 3 times. So this particular involved, all the challenge events here, a lot of mud. Type of mud where you can't get out of your pedals, so every time you're going uphill and you can't get up anymore, you just fall over. And there's one gentleman in this audience who I know fell over and then flipped a couple times down a steep slope thanks to the mud in his pedals. There was hail, there was thunder and lightning, there was pushing our bikes for extended periods through a kind of a river of hail soup coming down the trail. And then there were the sheepdogs. A couple of very large Great Pyrenees that mistook us for coyotes or wolves and came charging over to get us out of the way. So it was disintegrated brake pads, no brakes for that big, sweet downhill that we were going to have at the end of the ride that was going to top everything off. So that was my 3-hour ride experience. So the second memory I want to share here, kind of in the same area, Elk Mountains, 2006. This was on one of the annual Joel organized Memorial Day weekend Independence Pass camping trips, which I'm sure we touched on by a number of other folks this weekend. But there was a peak that we had, or I should say Joel had been fixated on. We've been looking at it for, I want to say, or rather, again, Joel had been thinking about this for 4 or 5 years. It was going to be sick, epic. How could we not do this? Look at these pictures. These pictures are flying out. A few days before Memorial Day weekend every time. So we finally, in 2006, we're like, all right, we're going to go do it. And after we got across this creek, we started heading up this gully through a gully that we've been looking at from camp, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll just kind of start off to the right, and we'll work up, we'll kind of get through some brush, and then the snow, and yeah, we'll be up that, an hour and a half, no problem. So what ensued was a, 3.5, probably 4-hour sufferfest, where we're going through willows, really thick, looking back, trying to find our friends in the group. All you could see was the tips of the skis coming through this willow cover, kind of like some sort of elk or something, and a lot of thrashing and cursing and shuffling around. And, post-holing through snow when we got out of the willows. But it was, we got through and we made it. And third story that I wanted to share was unrelated to being up in the mountains. A couple years later, I got a call from Joel on a Friday. And as many of you know, he got into wine in his later years. He got a little matured a little bit more. And I get this call, and I'm a neophyte when it comes to wine. And Chris, what's going on? Well, I'm down in the middle of work. He's like, dude, you gotta look at this link I just sent you. It's like the '05 Burgundies. They are going off. Best vintage in 25 years. I'm like, wow, that's great. I'll take a bottle or two. And he's like, well, one more thing. He's like, you can't drink it for 10 years. I gotta age. You know, it's just this French style, the aging. You gotta wait. You gotta get in on them. So what could I do? You know, a couple hours later, I'd spent $250 on bottles that are still sitting unopened. So anyway, kind of bringing this all together, the point I wanted to make was a couple of particularly fond memories I have of Joel is, number one, he had a knack, and maybe better stated, a gift for just energy and enthusiasm and motivation when he talked to a group or he called you on the phone or you're drinking a beer on a Thursday night before the weekend about, hey, we got to go do this, we got to get a group of people together. And I can't think of hardly any other friends that can do that or have the ability to bring a group together for a great time to get out and do something. And when we got out and did something, you know, whether it was this, you know, slog of 6+ hours through rain and hail with no brakes, or bashing up some gully for some peak we don't think we're ever going to get to, or whatever we were trying to do, driving late at night down to southern Colorado, I always had fun. I always had a good time, and a lot of that was a testament to Joel's demeanor, his personality, his sense of humor, his way that even when you were kind of feeling down or you weren't really sure we're going to be able to get to an area or be able to pull something off that we were shooting for, that he kind of pick you up, make a comment, lift your spirit up a little bit, and it worked. You know, it got us through. And I look back at these memories, and even with all the pain and suffering, it was always a good time, and you know, something I'm certainly going to miss. And going forward, and trips in the mountains, going to carry that memory with me going forward. So to kind of maybe kick off the evening, maybe with each story, I'd like to raise a cup to Joel, his warmth, his energy, and his desire in bringing people together to get out and have a great time. Here, here. Here.
So, everyone look down on what you're sitting on right now. What do you got there? Who said it? Yeah, concrete. Who gets excited about concrete? So, I don't even know what conversation it was. I was telling Omar and Chris earlier, you know, hanging out with Joel as you do, you talk about all kinds of stuff. And I'm right in the middle of it, and I'm nodding, and I'm grinning, and I'm kind of like, yeah, right, yeah, and I'm all excited. And I realized we're talking about concrete. And so another testament to Joel that he was, yeah, we were in the middle talking about his job and concrete and all this stuff, and we got all passionate, all excited, and I was lost at that point. But so on that note, Joel and concrete, so because we were joking earlier about the people from Joel's work who were chiming in, and the gentleman at the funeral who talked about the organization that Joel was heading up for a while there. And, who knew Joel had such a professional side? And I was pointing out, yeah, well, he's passionate. He loved concrete, too. So to that effect, Joel's boss, who was traveling in Europe, right?
Right.
Wrote in a really nice letter. So we're going to read from that now while it's still early in the evening. We're going to do a little, by the way, regression, just to give a feel for the evening as we kind of feel our way around it. Because I myself didn't get to know Joel till about 05 or so when I moved back to the States with my wife, got to know Byrne and company, and it spreads. So I'm of Joel, the professional era. But there are many eras in Joel's life. So I think it's easier to start professional and then get injured as the evening goes on rather than the other way around. So we'll start professional, sentimental, yeah, above board. So I'll turn it over to Chris to read the letter.